the Chase Field radar gun. Very first batter. All right, he wasn't going to retire 14 consecutive batters to start his big league career. Shane Victorino, the double. He'd later score in a Ryan Howard sacrifice fly. On to the second. Fills up 1-0, one on. Scherzer gets Pedro Feliz swinging on the high cheese. And then Carlos Ruiz looking, so not 98, dialed it down a little bit to 96. And Scherzer appeared to be settling in. But with 2 outs in the third, the Phillies would get to him. Tied at 1, 2 on and 2 out. Jeff Jenkins singles to center. Chase Utley would come around and score. It was 2-0 Phillies. 2 batters later, 3-1 Phillies now, and Carlos Ruiz singles up the middle. That would score Jenkins, make it 4-1 the Philadelphia. And the next batter, Jamie Moyer.
Is that how you roll?
Doubles down the left field line. Feliz scored. Phil scored 4 with 2 outs. Scherzer would go 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, only 2 earned, 5 strikeouts. Phil's in a big way over Max. Buck Showalter, no such thing as a sure thing. Series, the Boston Red Sox in town, who came off a sweep. Part of the shake-up to the lineup. Gary Sheffield, no longer the DH in the outfield for the first time this season. Jeremy Bonnerman facing Mike Lowell. And Lowell gets out of town. Entering the game, Lowell's the only player in the majors with at least 50 plate appearances and not a single RBI. He's got 2 RBIs now. So Sheffield dropped from 3rd to 6th in the lineup. That's also part of the shakeup in Detroit. Here's his first at bat in the bottom of the second, and Sheffield pops out to the left. Sheffield go 0 for 1 with 3 walks. Bottom of the 5th. Daisuke Matsuzaka facing the rookie Matt Joyce, just called up with 2 on. The Tigers down 4-1, and Joyce flies out to end it. Detroit strands a couple. Here's Lowell. Drive to left. Sheffield is there. He's so much more than a DH. Top of the 9th, 5-3 Boston. David Ortiz facing Todd Jones. And I believe the slump is officially over. That's Ortiz's 6th home run of the season. Daisuke allows just 1 run on 2 hits in 5 innings. He had a career-high 8 walks and still goes to 5-0. Daisuke more like Dice walk on Monday. The first Red Sox starter to issue 8 walks in a win since Dennis Oil Can Boyd 23 years ago. The Red Sox, the team, walked 10 batters
Oil can.
and had only 1 strikeout. Last team to do that in a win, 1981 Cardinals. The Sox only the 4th team in the division era to do it.
Angels, Royals, Irvin Santana, 5-0, going for 6. Last year, he won all of 7. 3 runs or fewer, 6 innings or more in each of his first 5 starts. It's just been terrific. Jose Guillen finds that out, and then he finds that out again in the 4th. The 5th, 2 outs. John Buck, looper to center, and part of great pitching is, well, great defense. Torrey Hunter's got that one. I wouldn't say that's the greatest catch in the history of baseball. That's still coming up in the show. Bottom 6, Santana at it again. David DeJesus goes down. Top 9, 1-zip Angels, still very tight fit, but with 2 outs. Garrett Anderson, no relation. Clearly, that's a 2-run homer. Anderson's 3rd of the season, 3-0 Angels, and then in the 9th, 2 away. That's right, Santana's going to handle all 27 outs himself. Guillen goes down for a 3rd time. Angels win 4.
Defending NL champs, tied for the fewest wins in the majors. The Cards went through that same thing last season when they were the defending pennant winners. Joel Pinheiro swings at the inside pitch and hit on the wrist there. He would shake it off and continue the at-bat, and that's really the way to shake it off. Lines one down the left field line, just fair. Rick Ankiel and Yadier Molina score on the double. Pinheiro helping himself out. Cards up 3-2. Brad Hall lines 1 into left. Ball's going to take a strange bounce by Chris Duncan. Garrett Atkins scores easily. Duncan an error, tied at 3. Chris Iannetta, the very next batter, hits it to left. Duncan overruns that ball. That allows Hop to trot home easily. So 2 consecutive errors for Duncan. Top 9, tied at 5. Albert Pujols on second, and Keel's going to ground out to second, but Pujols trying to score all the way from second, and he does. Beats the relay home, so Ankiel 6 RBIs in his last 7 games. And the Cardinals have really come on. They won 5 of 6, 7 of 9. Rockies have lost 12 of 15.
Source there, but how would Guillen's club respond after the manager's entertaining an R-rated rant? Well, the hits just continued to not come. White Sox were threatening in the 3rd, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Orlando Cabrera chops to short. Juan Uribe has to hold, so we got 1 away. Dustin McGowan strikes out Jim Tomei. He struck out 6 and 7 2/3, so they get nothing there. Matt Stairston in the 7th. Jimmy, Jack, and I guess they're in Canada, right? Get it! Blue Jays strike first, 1-zip. Stairs 4th of the year. Into the 9th, B.J. Ryan in to close it. 1 out, nobody on. Ryan walks, Paul Konerko. All right, that's the start of a rally as the Sox are going. Now it's really warming up. Jermaine Dye walks. Nick Swisher walks. Oh, they're about to bust it out, right? Base is chalked, 1 out. Pablo Ozuna grounds it back to Ryan. Comes home to get Greg Zahn over to first for the double play. So before the rant, they had no offense, and this one they had not always World Series successful Cubbies against the Reds. Lou Piniella, his team has lost 7 of his last 10. Alfonso Soriano deep to right. Ken Griffey Jr. Remember, over and right. Excellent catch at the wall. Good stuff by Jr. We see it a lot. Better yet, he didn't get injured. Bottom 3, Reds up 3-1. Adam Dunn. He's country strong. They're playing in a baseball stadium, but he hit that about 9 football fields. 5th homer of the season. The Reds lead 5-1. It's 5-3 in the 5th when Griffey comes up, hits it to center, and Felix P.A. is there to make the great leaping catch, briefly described in the newsroom as the greatest catch in the history of baseball. That person has since been fired. All right, top 9. Cubs trailing 5-3 with the bases loaded. Francisco Cordero throws a wild pitch. Like Fontenot heads home. Tagged out by Cordero. Excellent defense, right? Tim Welke with the call at the plate. Derek Lee then grounds to first. Joey Votto slides to get the out, and the Reds win it 5-3. And they had an excellent catch in this game as well. Lost 1 in a row following his 8-game win streak. Oliver Perez, he was having some trouble in the opener. First batter of the game, Rafael Furcal. 11th leadoff home run is a Dodgers second-team history behind Davey Lopes, 1-0 die. And then Jeff Kent right back at you, buddy. Ouch. I mean, he stops it. He gets the out, but that just doesn't seem very sporting. Just right in the That's a gut shot. Ugh. Oh, it's 2-0 after 1. Chad Billingsley getting his first career start against the Mets. David Wright, he's dreamy. Wright hits it to Furcal. It's short. It makes the strong throw to first from deep in the hole. That ends the inning. We go to the 5th. Blake DeWitt at bat. Oh, boy. That's going. Get that ball back. It's his first career home run. There you go. Excellent work. Dodgers up 3-0. And DeWitt, yeah, the silent treatment. Yeah, calls when you hit 2. There we go. Dodgers win 5-1.
Like the A's, the O's have cooled off since a hot start. Now, the home plate umpire in this game, Ed Hickox. Who's got him in the umpire?
I don't know.
Cool.
Not me.
All right, that's first pitch, strike 1. Second pitch is strike 2. Facing Jack Cuss. Here's your 3rd pitch. That's ball 1.
Okay, here we go.
Here's your 4th pitch. That's strike 3, okay?
And here comes
your 5th pitch. That's strike 4. So Garrett Olson truly struck out Jack Cuss. Bottom of the 10th, Emil Brown facing Jim Johnson with 2 on and 2 out. Brown's 3rd single of the game is the game winner. 3rd career walk-off hit, first since 2005. Oakland has won 7 of their last 10 home games.
SportsCenter's top plays. By the way, Levy always a good guy in the room. Number 10, Fred. Garrett Anderson, ground to the right side. Mark Grizzolana gets it dirty, making the stop. There you go. It's all right. Mom washes that. Stains come right out. Little bleach. It's good. Anderson out. Hate to see that.
Number 9, Paul Bonham in the 3rd round of the Red Bull Air Race World Series in San Diego in front of 63,000 fans. Bonham wins, and let's hear from the winner.
I'll tell you what, it is hard work, and I can't wait for a cold beer.
Don't drink and fly. Number 8, Alfonso Soriano, deep to right. Ken Griffey Jr. Now, this is 8 in the top 10. It's only the 2nd best in this game, so we have more from this game coming. More from Griffey as well, only he'll be on the wrong side of that thing.
Arena football. Twice the field, half the fun, what?
Half the field, twice the fun.
Oh, I always get that wrong. Russ Mickna, strip, falls right into Torrance Marshall's lap. Touchdown.
Those are my guys. They were just here, you know, the Chicago Rush. Number 6, Tayshaun Prince. Look at the thin man get up and just throw down. He's extra springy. Wow. Pistons up 2-0.
Coming in at number 5. Sox and Tigers, Jason Varitek, liner to short. Edgar Renteria. He used to play shortstop for the Red Sox, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're awfully hard on him back
Makes the grab.
Where do we go now? All these numbers are in Spanish. I'm lost. I'm going to go with 4. Tony Parker. That's just ridiculous. That went in there. Now, he could have used about 20 more of those and his team would have won.
The numbers are in English, though. They're written in Spanish, but the 3 was a 3.
I'll figure it out. I got one left.
Rafael Furcal. Nice stop. And the throw to get David Wright. He's what, David Wright?
Dreamy. Oh, the ladies adore him. You can bet on it. Number 2, Yunus Mahmoud. Look at that. Just whoop. It's a goal. If it's a goal in soccer, we show it in the top plays because they don't score many goals. So right away, boom, we show it in there. Everything. It's always the greatest goal.
And here's number 1. We promise more from Junior.
Back goes P.A. at the track, at the wall, leaps up, and that ball is... Did he catch that ball?
Yes.
He caught it!
He caught that ball. Yes.
Felix P.A. went over the wall in straightaway center and made a terrific...
Twins, White Sox. How about this? Gavin Floyd on the hill for the struggling Sox. We have this from the transaction wire, December 6, 2006. White Sox send Freddie Garcia to the Phillies. Acquire Gavin Floyd, player to be named later. Carlos Gomez, groundsman to Orlando Cabrera, and Floyd solid through 5 innings. We go to the 6th, 2 outs. White Sox lead 3-1. Justin Morneau, ground out to second, and Floyd working on a no-hitter through 6. Now, he gave up a run. There was a walk, an error, 2 fly balls, so the Twins do score. But top 7, 2 outs, still working on the no-hitter. Floyd facing Delman Young. Well, 3 strikes and you're out. That's an old rule in baseball. Get done. Floyd, no-hitter through 7, into the 8th. Gavin Floyd, 6 outs away. Let's make it 5. Morneau. Can of corn to center. Who's got it? I got it. Now, he got this far last month against Detroit, 7 1/3, no-hitter broken up. Adam Everett, not broken up. 4 outs away. Hey, who's the team with the 5-game winning streak here? Who has the 6-game losing streak? It's all confusing. Next batter, Carlos Gomez. He saws off Gomez, but Cabrera charging, and actually makes that look like an easy play. Gavin Floyd, no-hitter through 8 innings in the scoreboard. Yeah, look at that. Big 0 under the H. 3 outs away from history, trying to close it out. You know, the White Sox have had 2nd most no-hitters ever in big league baseball behind only the Dodgers. Brendan Harris strikes out looking. We got 2 away. Next up, Joe Mauer. Now, Scott Van Pelt tried to figure out if the guy knew Prince or whatever. I don't think we ever got to the bottom of that, but you know what? He does know how to hit. That one's out there. Nick Swisher, he is humping it. He is running hard. He is not going to get it. Mauer on his way in with a double. That is a clean H. Swisher stays with it. Look at that. He was upset that he didn't get to it. Floyd taken out. Standing ovation. Sox win at 7-1. Floyd 8 1/3, 4 Ks, 1 hit.
Well, Randy Johnson and the Diamondbacks still have baseball's best record, trying to avoid their first 3-game losing streak of the season. He fills in Arizona. Johnson gets Chase Utley swinging high cheese. Utley 0 for 4, struck out 3 times. Phils with down 1-0 in the 3rd. Eric Bruntlett off the unit, get up and get out. 2-run shot, 2nd homer of the season. Johnson 6 innings, 4 runs, and 6 strikeouts, but he wasn't done there. Bottom of the 4th, bases are loaded for Randy Johnson, and Adam Eaton walks the big unit. Charlie Manuel, think of what you're thinking. You just walked Randy Johnson.
Big strike zone.
That's his first RBI for the unit since 2004. Stephen Drew, a seed to right and gone. Seed's a great baseball expression. 4th the season for Drew. D-backs go up 6-2. Here's Ryan Howard, pinch hitting, representing the tying run of the 8th, and he strikes out for the 12th time in 26 career pinch hitting at bat. Ballpark, thankfully, the big one in the Bronx, where Jabba didn't rule against the Indians. You'll see what I mean. Bottom 4th, Yankees lead 3-2, 2 on and 2 out. Johnny Damon, fly ball in the left center, and Grady Sizemore comes over to make the grab to Rob Damon and end the inning. Top of the 8th, here's Jabba Chamberlain on the hill. The Indians are down 3-2, and Chamberlain's going to make walk that first batter. Sizemore just made that great catch. 2 batters later, with Sizemore at 2nd, Chamberlain walks Johnny Peralta. Mariano's getting loose. Here's the pinch hitter, David DeLucci. And Chamberlain gives him 95 miles an hour in, better than 100 miles an hour out. Get out. 10th career pinch hit home run for DeLucci.
Pinch hit home run.
He's tied for 3rd most pinch hit home runs among active players. For Chamberlain's the 2nd home run allowed by him in 37 career innings.
Red Sox, Tigers, Boston continuing to win, Detroit continuing not to hit. Kurt Schilling throws for the first time all year before the game. Off level ground, not ready for the mound quite yet. Tim Wakefield, he's doing it just fine. Throwing it up there 50, 60 miles an hour. Got Miguel Ordonez and Gary Sheffield. He went 8 innings, no runs, 5 straight 1-2-3 innings. This isn't a 1-2-3 innings here. Nate Robinson gives up a big one to David Ortiz. We got out the tape measure, 414 feet, 7th of the year. Sox led 4-0. Now, Freddie Dulce comes in relief, making his major league debut, and he gets to face Manny Ramirez. And the very first pitch the kid throws in the bigs, and Manny hits it out. It's all right for Dulce. A lot of guys have done that. He'll bounce back, I'm sure. Manny's 497th career homer. Back-to-back home runs for the Sox. They beat the Tigers 5-zip. A lot of baseball to be played for Dulce in his major league career. All right, not going to be an easy couple of weeks for the Tigers as they continue to struggle. 2 games remaining with the Red Sox, series against both the Yankees and the Diamondbacks in the near future. Just a 3-game series against the Royals presents some relief, except for the one little problem. Detroit's season opened with 3 straight losses to KC. Angels and Royals, yeah, the heavenly team leading the majors with 11 road wins, including a shutout win in Kansas City the other night. Nick Adenhart, big prospect for the Angels. Alex Gordon, fly to left. Gary Matthews misplays it. Billy Butler comes around to score. Gordon to second. Adenhart allowed 3 runs in 4 1/3 inning. Not a great outing, but good enough. Garrett Anderson, drive to right center, and that ball, not moist, but still a home run. Just out of the reach of Mark Tien. 3-run shot, his 4th this season. Garrett Anderson, ground ball with eyes. Vlad Guerrero scores. Angels win 5-3. Anderson drove in all 5 runs. Of course he did. The surprising A's hot on the Angels' wings. Just a game back at 20-14 to start today. Frank Thomas, big hurt. No longer Canadian. Back by the Bay. The base knock. Thomas trying to go something. Started there in the first with no score. A couple of batters later, here comes trouble. It's Emil Brown. Walk-off single to win the ballgame on Monday. I believe that's a flare. Could be a Texas League or whatever it is. It's down. Thomas scores from second, 1-0 A's. Nick Markakis grounds into a 3-6-3 double play. So the A's, who were up 3-2 in the 6th, remain up 3-2. Top 9, A's leading 4-2, 1 on, 2 outs. Luke Scott pops foul, and as Steve has mentioned so many times, a lot of foul ground out there in Oakland.
Yes, they do.
Is that what you like to say?
And in Japan, too.
Jack Hanahan chases it down, makes the grab of the A's.
Baseball dropped 12 of their last 15 as they continue their series against Braden Looper and the Cardinals. Looper's pitched very well. Looper, he gets Todd Helton to fly out to center, and Willie Taveras is tagging from second. He's thrown out by Rick Ankiel. Talk about a seed. What a hose. Ankiel, as you might expect, throws a strike.
Yes, which
Get
you
that?
might not expect.
Right.
Hose, by the way, another great baseball.
Former pitcher throwing the strike. Ends the inning, ends the threat. We got more from Ankiel. Top of the 8th. Cards up 5-2 and off Manny Corpus. Get out of town. Ankiel is 6th home run of the season, but the Cardinals up 6-2. Bottom 8, no one on, 2 downs. Omar Quintanilla, shot to the gap and left center. Quintanilla heading for third, but yeah, thrown out by Ankiel. Are you kidding me? Second great throw of the game, second outfield assist. Looper goes to 5-1. Ryan Ludwig, his second 4-hit game of the season.
Cubs and Reds, Chicago traditionally pitching strong on May 6th. Carlos Zambrano cruising along, but gets himself in some trouble in the 6th. He's got a 3-0 lead, but gets Edwin Encarnacion to ground into a 6-4-3 double play. And Zambrano, Big Z, 8 scoreless innings. We go tonight. Kerry Wood coming out to close out the game. Oh, yeah, May 6th. Think back to 1998. Wood, look at all those Ks. He struck out 20 Astros in that game. 20. All right, so now he's coming in to close now. My guess is he's not going to face 20 guys
Right.
in the 9th. If
Long,
he is,
long relief, maybe.
right, hasn't really done his job that well. Runner on first went out, Encarnacion goes down looking, and then, well, Adam Dunn. So that's not bad. Wood struck out 2 of the 4 he faced. Cubs win 3-0. Cubs win. 5th save for Wood.
Dodgers looking to make it 10 out of 11 as they continue their series against the Mets. Top of the 3rd, Moises Salou's on 3rd. Angel Pagan's on 1st. Pagan takes off, steals 2nd. Here comes Moises Salou, and he's going to steal home. Moises Salou, the first 41-year-old or older to steal home in 10 years since Paul Molitor last did it. Blake DeWitt with his first career home run on Monday night. On Tuesday night, hits one to right in the bottom of the 5th. Ryan Church can't make the catch, but the ballpark holds it. Russell Martin's going to come around and score easily. DeWitt racing around the bases. He, too, will come all the way around to score for the inside-the-park home run. The first game in nearly 18 years with a steal of home and an inside-the-park home run. The ace Felix Jose hitting inside the Parker. The Twins' Brian Harper stole home July 29th of 1990. Jonathan Broxton In a one-run game, strikes out David Wright. Wright goes 0 for 4. He K'd 3 times. 2 on, 2 out in the ninth. Takashi Saito gets Luis Castillo. What an effort by the Dodger bullpen. 5 2/3.
Houston, a shot at sticking its nose above 500 for the first time all season. They're 16-16. Lance Berkman, who we like a lot, 5 for 5. Ties a career best with the 5 knocks. Astros take a 2-1 lead. Kaz Matsui would score. Their top 8 were tied at 4. Austin Kearns, high, deep, and unplayable off Doug Roquel. Kearns' 3rd of the season. The Nats have taken a 5-4 lead. Bottom 8, same score. Runners on 1st and 3rd. 2 out. 2 out hits get you to have. Carlos Lee, linesman to right. Kearns dives, can't make it. Miggy will score. Berkman will score because he's on base again. And the Astros get a comeback victory, 6-5. So they are now 17. That's good. Padres 6-12 on the road. Good match if you're the Braves. Bottom 3, Chipper Jones hitting .425 and actually raised his average in this game. How about that? 1 for 2, couple of walks. Now hitting .426. Behind the plate, Wally Bell took a beating.
Jurgens back to work. And that one fouled off, the count even. 3 starts in center.
Oof. Now that was more flush, and that definitely had to hurt. Bad things happen.
Wow, Wally Bell, what a brutal night. Ryan,
geez, I don't know. The guy went 4 for 4, right? 3 foul balls in the face, 1 to the right foot. Look at him telling first base ump Brian Knight, I'm hurt, man. Braves won it by a count of 5-3. All right, we move seamlessly into SportsCenter's top plays. As always, we begin with number 10, Fred. Halftime Cavs Celtics at number 10. The bowl lady making an appearance. She's a sensation around the league. She's on a unicycle, and she does that with dishes. Don't use the good china there.
I have a sport jet that color, by the way. Number 9, Padres and Braves. Tadahito Iguchi. Deep fly to left center. It's Mark Kotsay, who needs the horse. Sticks his glove out and makes the grab.
Number 8, Rome Masters. Roger Federer. Guillermo Cañas. Federer. Beautiful drop shot. Now he dropped a shot, didn't drop a set. 3-3. He's into the 3rd round.
Number 7, Cavs Celtics. 4th quarter tied at 72.
10 on the shot clock. Garnett drives, spins in the paint, hangs in the air. Finger roll will fall. Celtics have the lead. Who said Kevin Garnett doesn't make big shots in the 4th quarter?
Number 6, World Hockey Championships. USA versus Canada. 3rd period tied at 4. Danny Heatley. The one-timer scored just 47 seconds left in the 3rd. The heater. Canada wins at 5-4. Fear the Maple Leaf. How'd Melrose take that? Side's he on? Dual citizenship and all.
Yeah, he's got it. Whichever side wins. Mets and Dodgers. Blake DeWitt, long fly to deep right. Ryan Church leaps at the wall. Can't make the grab. You knew Russell Martin was going to score. But did you know that DeWitt was going to score? DeWitt, the inside the park home run. The 2nd homer of the year. Dodgers won.
And number 4, Phillies Diamondbacks, Pedro Feliz. 5 fly ball, shallow left. Eric Burns playing a deep left, but gets there in time to make the diving catch, and the Diamondbacks win at 6-4. Good extension there. Now put him in a kayak at the All-Star game.
King college baseball for you. New Orleans, Tulane. New Orleans, Michael Nipper. Long fly to center. Tulane center fielder Anthony Selfo. I mean, if he doesn't make that catch, that might be an inside-the-park home run. What a grab by Selfo. He'd be okay.
Number 2, Indians, Yanks, bottom 4. We got 2 outs. Johnny Damon, liner to left. Brady Sizemore said, look, that's out number 3. I have it right here in my glove. Let's switch sides. My team gets the bat now. Indians win 5-3.
How do you feel about that being number 2, though?
All right with that.
Todd Helton the fly to center. Rick Ankiel. He's going to make the catch. He's also going to make the throw. Willie Tavares running on Ankiel. I don't think so. And there's even more. Omar Quintanilla, the liner to left center. Ankiel can't make the play. Quintanilla is going for the triple. Yeah, nobody's going to do that anymore. He also had a home run, by the way, Ankiel. 5-game winning streak, and they had A.J. Burnett on the mound. Toronto did. He was going early. Gets Akinori Iwamura. B.J. Upton, he's just looking. Carlos Pena, hey, check this out. And then Burnett would blow the fastball by Evan Longoria. Eric Hinsky, swing and miss. Burnett strikes out 5 of the first 6 Rays hitters. He had 10 strikeouts in 6 innings. And Hinsky in the top of the 6th, that's his 7th home run of the season. Had 6 all of last season.